Welcome to The Right Question, the video podcast designed to answer your questions about writing. I'm Daphne Gray Grant. Today I'm answering a question about beta readers. Here's the question.
Hi Daphne, this is Ann Hungerford Lowell from Noblesville, Indiana. I'm ready to have a beta reader look at my manuscript, but I don't know who to choose or what their responsibilities are. Could you talk about that a little bit for me? Thank you very much.
Thanks for asking such a great question, Anne. A beta reader, also known as an alpha reader, is a non-professional who reads something you've written and makes suggestions about how to improve it. This person can be a family member, a friend, a coworker, really anyone who can give you good suggestions about how to improve your work. Beta readers are not explicitly proofreaders or editors, but they can do some of that kind of work. This will allow you to take a cleaner manuscript to your ultimate editor, and that will not only save you money, it will allow your editor to do a more sophisticated job. Sometimes you'll look for beta readers who can focus on content. For example, let's imagine you've written a book on the great bridges of the world. You might want a civil engineer as a reader because he or she has experience in actually building bridges. Otherwise, beta readers can look at grammar and spelling and make suggestions that will improve the readability of your work. When I finished my book, 8.5 Steps to Writing Faster, Better, I actually had 16 beta readers. In fact, let me confess, they left me so many suggestions, I felt that my professional editor might have nothing left to do. But I was wrong. When I sent the final draft to my paid copy editor, she returned it to me filled with her little red markings. But I know my book was better for it. Thanks, Naomi. As for how to choose your beta readers, here are some issues to consider. Do they have the time? Reading a 75,000 to 80,000 word book is going to take them at least a dozen hours, maybe more, given that they're going to be making notes for you. This is a big commitment. Don't request it of someone who clearly doesn't have the time. Are they prepared to be honest and specific? It might be self-affirming to hear, "Wow, that was a great book. I can't imagine doing anything differently," from one of your friends, but that's not going to help you one iota. And be sure to ask them to be specific. If they have a judgment, for example, they ought to be able to explain why they came to that conclusion. Do your readers represent the audience you hope will be interested in your book? Here's where I suggest you look at your beta readers as a group. This could be based on a profession, a common hobby, a cultural background. Whatever the topic, make sure your beta readers are interested in that area. Once you've identified your team, and I'd look for a minimum of 6 people, be sure to give them guidelines. Tell them whether you want general feedback or a line-by-line edit. For example, you might say, "I'm looking for general feedback, but if you spot any typos, please let me know about them." Explain how you want them to work. These days, many writers find the track changes function in Microsoft Word to be especially handy. But if you're dealing with some non-tech savvy individuals, you might want to ship them a printed out copy. Ultimately, you're the one who has to collect and input the suggested changes, so make sure you choose a mode that's comfortable for you. Also, be sure to give your beta readers a deadline. Just make sure the deadline is reasonable. Your beta readers are donating many, many hours of their time. Respect that gift. Also, don't be surprised if a few of them fail to meet that deadline. We're all busy people and you might need to remind them several times. Build time for that kind of delay into your schedule. Remember that they are doing you a huge favor. Be grateful, thank them profusely for their efforts, and be sure to name them in either the preface or afterwards section of your book. Don't argue or take offense. Some comments from your beta readers may sting, particularly if they've been a bit harsh in their delivery. Give yourself some time to think about their comments before you respond. That said, don't assume that your beta readers are automatically right. They may make some suggestions that frankly seem idiotic to you. You're free to thank them for their advice and then ignore it. Just be aware that if all 6 of your beta readers suggest exactly the same thing, you're probably wise to pay attention to them. When your book is finally published, be sure to thank them again and send them a free copy with a ribbon tied around it and a personal handwritten note. And be aware that if they're authors too, One day you'll need to return the favor to them. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from author K.M. Wayland. The dance between writer and beta reader can sometimes be a tricky one, but figuring out the rules of the dance is always worth the effort. Good luck with your beta readers, Anne. If you have a question, you can email, tweet, or Skype me. You can find the details in the description below, along with any resources I've mentioned. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the video.